Hello everyone, this is Stephanie. Welcome to the part 2 of your Tallulah cuff, and it's the last part. It's going to be brief. I'm just going to walk you through, for the most part, through finishing your bracelet. You've got all your beading done. You're still on your stiff stuff. Let me give you a quick materials list for what you're going to need just for this last section, and then we can get started. So you'll need some 11O seed beads, and that's what you're going to use to bead around the edge of your bracelet. And on this one, you see in the finished one, I've used some black seed beads. You use whatever color you like. It can contrast. It could, I wanted mine to sort of fade into the background. So it depends on what you've made and what you like. So you'll need some 11O seed beads. Need some hooks and some eyes if you're using that closure. Okay. You're going to need a scissor. And I would recommend an embroidery scissor. Now this is a giant scissor, and it's very hard to get into these little places. And I'm going to wait for an embroidery scissor to cut when I do the ultra suede, because you don't want to mess it up. It's you've spent so much time working on this. So see if you can get like one of those embroidery scissors, or a small scissor that's very sharp so you get into the corners. Okay, you need some E6000 glue. Go. Going to need a needle and thread. Here's my needle and thread. You're going to need that to sew on your hooks and your eyes, as well as your beads. You'll need a couple of rubber bands, okay, and a coffee mug or a glass or whatever, a sort of cylindrical object for you to. Let me pull this off for a second. So once you have your ultra suede on like this, we're going to take the glass or a coffee mug or whatever, and we're going to wrap it around once the ultra suede is glued on, and we're going to put a couple of elastic bands on it, like so. See? And then you're going to let it dry overnight, so it has a nice curve to it. All right, so that's about what you're going to need. So once you gather up your materials, and then we'll get started finishing up this cuff. See you in a minute. Okay, so we're back, and we have all our materials together. I just put my materials aside for the moment. So what you want to do now is you want to cut this out, and you want to cut carefully along the edge. So you're cutting the stiff stuff, right? And I'm just sort of giving you an idea because I've cut this one out already. See, so just be really careful. So you hold it like so, and if you have an embroidery scissors, please use those. Just you give a rough cut at first, and then you can go in and clean up the edges like so. Make sure you don't cut any of your beads. Make sure you don't cut any of your thread. That would be, I know it's very easy to cut a thread. So just do it super carefully. We're almost done, so you just want to do these last few steps really carefully. All right, so here we go. I've had it cut. It's all done. All right, looks lovely on the back. a lot of stitching going on there. Okay, so. So it does, there are a lot of stitches on the back. So here we go, we're all cut out. All right, now what I want you to do is I want you to grab a permanent marker if you have one, or anything to color the edges of your stiff stuff. Now I don't know if I'll put it in the description box if I forgot to put that in, but I've colored this already, and you can see here the edge of the stiff stuff. It's all, it's actually a brown, but I have a purple marker. I'm just going to go over it a little with you. And I went under some of the beads here because I always use a white backing when I'm making a tutorial, because otherwise you're not going to see what I'm doing. So they do have colors, and you can get the colors, but until then, or if you used a white backing, just color the edges and color in like any spots, like if you can get it in like so. It's really a good idea to do this because it looks better, right? Okay, so here I go. So I've colored my edge. All right, that's all done. And now I want to sew on, and I have my backing here. But before I put my backing on, I want to sew on my hooks and eyes. Now, if you notice, I'm going to be switching back and forth between the two, the finished bracelet, almost finished bracelet, and the one we're working on. So if you notice, I've got my hooks and eyes underneath the backing. So I've put the backing over it. So we're going to put these on first, and these the hooks are right to the edge of the bracelet. Now if you want this thing to come together and not have a space in between, make sure that your hooks are put on down here. If you have them protruding, they're going to show. So they must be put on down at this edge. Okay, the eyes you want to protrude a little bit you know, about, I don't know, a third of the eye or so. Just a little bit so that you can grab it with the hooks. Otherwise it's going to be, you know, you're going to be going down here to grab it. So you want them to protrude out a little bit so that when you put it on, it goes together like that. Now that may take a little maneuvering on your part, but just, you know, just be really careful with it. And because, you know, the first time I did it, I had the hooks protruding and I didn't like it. So just make sure the eyes are coming out a little bit, but you have these right on the edge of your bracelet. Okay, so in order to do that, let me put this aside for a second. Here's the end, and I know it's going to be hard to see, but I'm going to sort of try to help get these on with you, just give you an idea of how to get them on here. So here's one hook, and here's the other. So place your hooks where you want them. Just make sure that the hook part is flush against here. And keep checking that, because you're going to be unhappy if they show. All right. So then all you want to do is you just want to go through, put your needle down through the hook, see, just like that. Just hold it with your thumb right now, because at the moment everything's loose, and then come back up on the outside of the hook through the beads. You're just going through beads. I mean, you just, if you want to look and see how it's coming through, you know, if it gets tough, just move your needle over a little bit, come through like that. All right, just hold it. This is the only part that's a little difficult. Make sure your hook is staying down there. Then come back through your stiff stuff, and now you have a loop holding on that hook. And just check your front and make sure that, you know, you're not wrapped around a bead. So now you're tacked on with one little loop. So then come back up through your beads, through the center of that little loop, and then come back down on the outside of the loop. And that's how you're going to tack it on. So you're going to do that all the way around. You're going to do it on the next one. Then you're going to put this one on right next, even with the top here, and you're going to do that one. Now another thing that you should do is come up through your beads. Now see how this kind of goes up a little bit? So you want to tack the top on also. So come through the side of right here of that hook. Just get your needle through the hook just to get to the other side, and then come down. Okay. Ouch. And that's going to hold the top of this hook on. You don't want this coming up. So keep doing that. Do it all along the edge. Come up, through, down, up, through, down, and until this thing is not moving. You want this on tight, okay? And then do the other one the same exact way. All right, so you're going to do it the same exact way. Make sure you're flush. Make sure you get it all tied in. And then you want to get the other side. You know, you want it to match the other side so that you can hook it together. And I don't know if you can see this. I know there's so much thread all over. This is how I judged after I put the hooks on. I just knew that my eyes were going to meet right there, so I put a dot there, so I knew that the middle of my eye was going to go there. Now you can measure the distance between the two, whatever it takes, just to get them to meet each other, because you want to make sure that these two meet. See? So you just, you can kind of figure out how to do that. That's not too difficult. All right. So there you go. So get your hooks and eyes on, and once you have those on, I'm going to pull this guy out so that we can continue. All right. So get those on, and get them on nice and strong. And this may take you a while to do it. So just take the time to do it, because that's the only thing that's holding your bracelet together when you wear it. So you want that strong. I mean, when I close this, I'm pulling as hard as I can. These hooks and eyes are never going to come out. So that's really important. And this little string is from my beading around the edge. All right, so once you've done that, what you want to do at this point, and I need to switch to this bracelet now, pretend this is the backing, okay? You want to put your Ultra Suede on, and when you put it on, you want to put it under the hooks. So you have your hooks and eyes on the backing right here, okay? So you want to put them, you want to slide the Ultra Suede under under the hooks like that, because you don't want all that thread to show. All right, and they're just going to go on top top, you know, you're going to cut it out normally on the other side. You don't have to worry about the eyes because they're going to be under like that. But you just want to make sure the hooks are protruding so that when you're done with your bracelet, it's going to look like this. You know, rather than having lots of thread around the hooks. So do that. So here you go. So you're going to put your E6000 on. All right. So here we'll use this one. So you're going to put on you're going to glue put your E6000 on. Get it all over. Be very careful gluing this. You know, take your time. Put on your backing. Press, 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 press. Really tight. Okay. So your hooks are, you know, protruding, and your backing is beautiful. Everything's, all the bubbles are out. There's no air bubbles or anything. Everything's on beautifully. Okay. Getting so close. Okay, now what you're going to do is you're going to take your glass or your coffee cup or whatever you're using, and I'll see if, I don't think I can pull out anymore, so I'll just do like so. And you want to wrap it around an object that will curve it. I'm using my travel mug, and then take your rubber band, take a couple of them, and put them around the bracelet, like so. Okay, now make sure that it's a nice curve, that you have everybody's even, and that you want these pretty loose rubber bands, okay? So you just want to curve it around. So this is, and let it dry overnight. Just put it aside and let it dry overnight. And just leave it on there. And if you looked on, if you've been on Facebook, you saw a picture of this, of this drawing. And as much as you want to take it off and start it, don't give it a long time to dry. You want this backing to dry beautifully. You want it to stay on nicely, and you want it to dry curved. And it's not going to dry curved until it's completely dry. Okay, so put that aside, let that dry, and then meet me back here, and we'll cut it out, and we'll put the edge beads on, and you'll be done. Okay, so we're back. So you've let this dry overnight, and we're just going to take it off. Now, of course, mine isn't attached, but what will happen is it will be nice and curved like that. All right, so you're just going to take it off. And, of course, this one, you know, as I said, isn't curved. So we're going to put that one aside for a bit, and we're going to just work on the one that is finished, okay? So here it is. This is how it looks. You've seen this, okay? You're curved. Everything is done. All you want to do is put on your beaded edge. So let's grab some beads. So we'll grab the 11-Os, or whatever you're using as your beaded edge. I mean, you could use anything as your beaded edge. I'm just going to put a few 11-Os on. And I'm going to do them in a different color so that you can see what I'm doing. All right? So here it is in black, and it just gives a nice finish. And if you want it to be part of the bracelet, then make it a color. You know, contrast it. You know, you can do anything at that point. All right? So what you want to do is you want to just find a spot to work. I usually like to start on a spot that's really flat, but it doesn't matter. You're just going to, you know, like, don't start in here. Start somewhere, you know, where it's nice and flat. I'm going to do it just like we did the backing on the Mother Earth pendant. So take a bead, and remember this is a sort of a brick stitch, so come down about the width of a bead, like so. Remember how we put that on? And on the back, you're about 1/8 of an inch, 1/16 of an inch. So, and just, you have to hold it to begin with, remember? And it just comes up like so. And then see how that sits, that bead up there? Just go through it with your, and hold it right now. Go through it with your thread. Okay? And what happens is the bead sits right on the edge, straight up. You want it to be straight up. So then hold it, because the first bead is always the hard one. Pick up a bead, come through. I'm coming through the width of this bead. That's sort of giving me my placement where I'm going to put the beads. Okay, so here, all right, got 2 on. Okay, pick another one. Through. You're leaving about 1/8 of an inch in the back. You can sew this from the back. I kind of like sewing it from the front because I want to place them nicely, and I want them to to all sit together, so I like looking at the front of the bracelet when I'm doing it, but you know, every once in a while I'm looking in the back and making sure that my threads are nice and even in the back. Okay, there's another one. And if they, you know, if you've put it too far away, then just, you know, nudge it over a little bit, give this a little pull. Just make sure the beads are nice and straight and together. So you see, that's how that looks. And it's going to have this little edge is going to be sticking out. You can see the black edge there. So just keep doing that. Just do that, just like we did on Mother Earth. Remember we did that? So go all the way around the bracelet. You won't have a problem going around the edges. It's just, you're just going to keep on beading. Even with these little, the hooks and eyes here, you're just going to go around them. Okay? So you're just really just beading all the way around the Ultra Suede. So just keep going, go around. I'm not going to do the whole thing with you. And then when you come to the end, remember how we did with Mother Earth? We had the end bead and we attached it by going through this bead, the first bead you put on, and then up the last bead you put on, and then secure it with a couple of knots in the back, and you can actually pull your threads through the front and snip them off, and you have a bracelet. You're done. How's that? So here you go. Here's your bracelet, and here's your bracelet in progress. I'll probably post this one on Facebook when I'm done, but it looks so much like this one, it really doesn't matter. Anyway, I hope you had fun with this little series of bead embroidery. I had a ball with it. I intend to do more. There are a couple other things I'm working on, but I'll just show you real quick. I'm working on an owl for a viewer who requested an owl, so I have yet to finish it, but if you're watching, I will finish this owl for you, I promise, and he's going to be sitting on a branch and little feet and all that. So, and this will be a pendant. It will be an owl pendant, kind of cute, kind of fun. So, so there are so many things you can do with bead embroidery. It's a lot of fun. We'll get back to it. We'll do more. I'll do the owl, and then I have some other things in my head that I want to do other than bead embroidery. So, we'll get back and forth so that we don't get bored doing too much bead embroidery. All right. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for the lovely comments. Post on Facebook. I love what you're posting. You are so talented. It's amazing. I'm just floored by the gorgeous work that everybody is doing, and I really I love it when you all connect on Facebook. So there you go. There's your bracelet. I'll put it on my wrist real quick just to show you. That's how it looks. All right. So enjoy this, enjoy making this, have a ball making it, take your time, do a little at a time, do more, put it aside, do a little bit more, bead something else, all that sort of stuff, and enjoy wearing this. And I'll see you on the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.